Evening, gang. Hello to you. Welcome along, gang. Here we are, just after Christmas, Sunday, the 28th of December, 2025. Welcome along to our little chat show, and very happy to be here because I've not been too well over the Christmas period. Not as bad as directly before, but not too bad, to be honest now. Certainly almost recovered, other than a cough, but I'll tell you a little bit about that later on. I hope you've had a nice time and that you didn't get the super flu, which I appeared to pick up on everything else here. I just, funnily enough, I was just, when you... Can I let you into a secret? You know, when you're sitting on the toilet, I can't go unless I'm scrolling. Is any... Is that the same for anyone else? I've got to the point, and this is not recent. I've been like this a while. I can't concentrate and go to the toilet. Not that you want to concentrate, do you? If you think too much about it, you don't go, do you? There's I've got to tell you, when I'm doing karaoke, and it's like what is it, 7:30, 8, 9, 10:30. It's a 3.5 hour job where you should stand in one place in control of everything. That's quite apart from the equipment and the sound and the lights. The people as well have to be, I know that sounds stupid, have to be controlled. Otherwise it all falls apart. You know, people wandering onto the stage at will, people walking across people when they're trying to sing. Sorry, can you not do that, please? Can you not do that? And even people who come up and create disruption. But I deal with those usually by simply, sorry, can you leave the stage, please? I then cut the music and just sit down. Don't need to do anything else, because if they don't move, eventually the entire crowd turns against them and they are kind of moved, if you see what I mean. I haven't got to do a thing. And so you've got to stand for a period of time in that one position. The only time you ever see me leave a stage, if I'm doing a karaoke, and I was talking to my friend... I think it was either Nick or Roy, or both of them earlier on the phone today. The only time I ever leave the stage is to go for a wee, or to go and make a cup of tea, or maybe I've got to deal with something. There might be someone, for example, disabled, which we get sometimes, who can't quite get up to the stage or that, and I'll have to go down and sort them out so that they don't have to move. Doesn't happen very often, but now and again, you need to be ready for that. And that's the only time I really leave. The only other time I leave is if I don't have to go for a wee, I have to do the other one. You know what I mean? The other one. And what I used to do right up to just a few weeks ago was wait for someone to put a long song in. By a long song, I mean 4 minutes and above. A good example of that is that Meatloaf one. I can't think. There's a Meatloaf one, and there's a Celine Dion one, and a couple of others. And I can see before I start playing a song at the karaoke. I'm a karaoke host. That's what I do for my wages. I only do 2 nights a week, and that's enough, to be honest. I'd actually, I wouldn't mind another one. I at this point, I wouldn't mind another one during the week if one came along, but they're very few and far between, these DJ and karaoke jobs now. Number one, as you get older, your kind of face doesn't fit in a young pub anymore, even though you go to the best of efforts to try and make it amusing and what have you, for people to join in, because I'm not a serious DJ or karaoke host. I try and make it fun. There's too many people there, especially these so-called professional karaoke singers who want to come up there and be stars. And in my mind, everyone is a star who comes and sings at the karaoke. If you've got the bollocks to go up there, if you've got the balls to, still wrong word. If you've got the gumption to go up there and stand in front of people and sing, whether you can sing a single note or not, top marks to you. You get some people who think they're the bee's knees, and they're pretty obvious, actually, when they come up. And it's not, for me, serious karaoke. I try and make it fun for everyone. Anyway, so if I want to go, what I used to do is try and wait for a long record. But then you can have a run of records, and you look 3 minutes, 2 minutes 50, 3 minutes 30. And even when you start the song off, you can't then go immediately, because you don't know how that singer's going to be with the music. The music might be too loud. The mic might not be loud enough. They may have no microphone technique at all. They may not be able to throw their voice. There's plenty of people out there who have nice little voices. Nice little voices, all in tune, but they just cannot throw their voice. People that you've seen on the streams. You've seen them on the streams, and before they start, remember, throw your voice, push it out there, and they start, and I don't believe they won't. They simply can't. They don't. I don't think they know what to do. You know, it's the difference between me. So even now, I am throwing my voice a bit towards the microphone. And that's just generally me. I'm a loud person how I speak. I want you to be able to hear me. Otherwise, what's the point? You know, if I just sit here like this, you know, talk to someone like that, you can hear that voice. That microphone isn't really picking me up that well, is it? You certainly struggle to hear me now, won't you? Now, at this end, at that point, if I spoke like that all the time, I could do something in here, and that would push it up a little bit more. But in a live situation, you can only go so far, and then you get the whistling. When you hear whistling on a microphone, a professional setup, and I like to think myself as a sort of professional setup. You know, if you can hear the microphone whistling, it's not the operator. He or she, sexist, he or she have had to push it so far that the system cannot give you any more, and that's why it whistles. And the only option there is to then turn the music down so that you can hear the person above the music. Except quite often, and again, there are people that you see at the karaoke nights that will then say, I can't hear the music. You know, they're basically deaf. But that's just how it is. And you do your best. What I used to do is try and wait for a long song and then run up the stairs, close the little door, assuming that the little room is empty, which where I go, it usually is, to be fair. But if you get up there and that door's locked, oh no, here we go. It's just impossible. And even if you get in there and you sit down and you're now clocked like, right, I've got 2 minutes, which may be enough or it may not. 2 minutes, right? Okay, and I can hear the song being sung downstairs. I'm letting you all listen to secrets here. You can hear the song being sung downstairs, and I think there's only one more chorus, and you're still sitting there. Oh no, here we go. And it was a few weeks ago. I thought, you know what? I've had enough of that. In future, I will take a break, and that's it. You know, I would say, okay, we're just going to have a short break here. We'll be back in a few minutes. And then I dim the lights so that they know there's a little break going on. I dim the lights and I casually walk upstairs and I've lined up 10 minutes of music. It's never going to be 10 minutes, but just in case. If you've lined up 10 minutes of music, you go upstairs, you get in a little room, you close the door, you sit down, you've got nothing to worry about. You're now not clock watching. And it's a hell of a lot easier. I don't know why I did that years ago. So there's a little secret there, okay? If I ever disappear okay, we're going to have a little break. Not if I just walk off the stage, because that's usually me going to make a cup of tea or going to sort someone out or maybe have a little chat. But if I say, right, we're taking a little break now you know. But don't start shouting, oh, we know what you're doing, as I wander up the stairs. Oh dear. Okay, boys and girls, just to let you know, to contact the show, please use the text number. This is to get a message into me. If you try and send me a message in any sort of chat box or comment section, I won't see it, all right? The chat box is too busy with people talking to each other about various things, subjects and what have you, for me to be able to go in there and extract the messages for me. It's too much. It's all right, you know, if, for example, my sister and brother-in-law, when they're doing a live show, my sister is on the messages. She's on there. Martin is hosting they're both hosting the show, but he's like the anchor the anchor, I suppose. So he's looking straight at you. She's passing him the messages that she has filtered out for the show. I can't do that because there's only me sitting here. I mean, it would be lovely. It would be lovely, lads. You know, if we can have sort of a young lad here. Got to be pretty. Can't have any ugly ones. I've no ugly ones. A nice lad sitting here working out my messages and passing it. A little bit like the secretary. You know, like the secretary they had in the old days. You know, these old middle-aged blokes would have some pretty blonde secretary and all that when in those sexist days of the 70s and 80s. And they would always be pretty, wouldn't they? You know, you'd have one of those. I could have a lad sitting there, couldn't I? You know, sort of about 25, 30, passing me the messages or something like that. That'd be quite pleasant, except I might not be able to concentrate on the show. That's the only trouble. You know. So bear that in mind. I'm not in the chat box at all. It's impossible. So if you want to get me a message, either send it by text message. If you're here in the UK, you can use the text number. It works very well. 07451 287 337. All right. 07451 287 337 for your texts. Or if you can't do that, you can use the email, which is just below there. chris@chrisreardon.co.uk. chris@chrisreardon.co.uk, and I'll pick them up like that. And we'll do a few more of those now, boys and girls. Let's have a little look here. I haven't actually opened the text thing yet. There we go. Let's get that moving. And the emails as well should be working. And there we go. Okay, boys and girls. Let's start at the oldest one, which is Patricia in Manchester. Hello, Patricia. Nice to have you along today. Patricia in Manchester texting in there. And on the little radio show that I do every morning between 9 and 10 o'clock, that's where that is, okay, if you ever want to join us there. Back again tomorrow morning. That's the little holding page. On the little radio show, we were talking about change the other day. And I don't know about you, but I really struggle with any sort of change. I really do. I'm a person of what would you say, constants? Like, you know, the same thing happens at the same time. Some people would class that as boring. I couldn't, for example, turn up at an airport. Right, I've got, I don't know, £1,000 here. I'll go somewhere. Pack bag, turn up at airport. Right, where shall I go? I'll go there. Oh, no. No. I need to know what time of the airport I'm going to be there, how long before. I need to know what seat I'm going to sit on the plane. I need to know where I'm going. I need to know what the hotel is at the other end. I need to know how I'm going to get from the airport to the hotel. One of my old managers, his name's Guy, he would literally go to India and book the first night in a hotel and then just wander around. Oh, no, I couldn't be doing anything like that. But any sort of change I really struggle with now. And at the moment, in my life, at this moment, I can see 1, 2, maybe 3 big changes that I'm going to have to deal with very soon. Very soon. One of them, for me, is huge. The other 2 are big, but I can see 3 things that need to be tackled head on at the moment. And the biggest one, I think we'll have to... I just don't know. I can't tell you what they are, unfortunately. Okay? I really can't tell you what they are. But they are massive changes to my life, I have to say. And all 3 of them are not necessarily things that I want to happen. But... You know where you know something's got to be done. Yeah, it's a bit like that, really. The biggest one. But there you go. So I really struggle with change. And we were talking about changes on the radio show this week. I can't remember what it was now. Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, I do remember. It was to do with work. It was to do with work. Everything's fine at work. Don't get me wrong. There's just been a couple of changes there. You know what I mean? And that's not the most important thing anyway. That's kind of, you know, down the list a bit. Anyway, and Patricia in Manchester texted in, I struggle with change in my final year at work. I had 8 different managers. Well, they can't have been any good then, can they? I always think that. You know, when people coming out, oh, you know, I've seen there's one particular bloke I know, and it's his CV of all these different places he's worked is pages and pages long. And oh, I've worked at all these places, and you have to ask yourself, why didn't you stay at any of these places for more than a few months? You know what I mean? When I find someone who's been at a place for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, you think to yourself, well, you must have been good at that job then, unless you owned a business and you got other people working for you. You know, when you see a CV or a list of places that people have worked at, you know, and they're like 6 months here, 4 months here, 2 months here, you have to wonder, why do you keep leaving? Or why do you keep getting the push, even? You know? So you had 8 different managers in a year. Blimey, they must have been really crap. Were they Conservative members of Parliament by any chance? They kept chopping and changing. That was their downfall. Kept chopping and changing. Worst thing you can do. Anyway, Patricia goes on to say they appeared and changed everything regularly. We struggled to keep up. If challenged, they were very unhappy with us. When you see, this is the thing. This is the thing. And there's a thing called micromanaging. Do you know what that is? Micromanaging, when you get a manager, and I've observed this in my past. I have been or people have tried to micromanage me before, and what tends to happen is I'll tell them to get lost, and if it carries on, I go home, and that's it. Bye. I just go home. They tend to be, I think they're people that are unconfident in their own work, so that they have to interfere with everyone else. You know, oh, yeah, I know they've done the cleaning, but there's a small piece of paper on the floor over there. Right, okay. Oh, you've done all the glasses. I can see one that's just been left over there in that corner. It's completely unnecessary to do that. They would probably have noticed that in half an hour's time. Why have you done that? Micromanaging. I think they're extremely unconfident people. They're not happy in their own lives. They're not quite sure what they're doing. So to prove their job, they start micromanaging people. Again, I was having a discussion with a very good friend of mine about this a few days ago. Micromanaging. I've seen it before. Oh, Chris, you know, and this hasn't happened, incidentally, where I work now. It's happened in the past. Oh, Chris, it's very good. But if you do it like this, why are you paying me a huge sums of money and then telling me what to do? I can do this. I've done this for years. Oh, yeah, we know that, Chris. I don't want to upset you or anything, but no, you're too old for that. I can't be, especially if you're one of those people that's just come out of a university, because you know nothing about life, my love. Nothing at all. Woman or man, you know nothing about life if you've just come out of university. All you've done is read your little books and belong to your focus groups and pick up all this stuff where you don't dare say anything in case you might upset someone. Oh, don't say that. Oh, no, don't. Whatever you do, don't say that to them. And that's micromanaging. It's unnecessary. It's picky. It's picky. Like going round to someone else's house, I suppose, you know, and a great big plate of sandwiches, and one of them's got a little bit of, I don't know, got a little hair on it or something. Would you tell them? I wouldn't. I'd move that sandwich to the side and pick up another one. Why do you need to tell them? You know, if you've got nothing nice to say, you don't say it. I mean, I say that about this show, you know. If I did this show like that, there'd be no show. But I usually lay into the celebrities, and let's be honest, that's what they're there for, because there aren't many stars on the telly now, are there? Eh? They're all reading stuff off auto cue and doing it like that. But that's my opinion of micromanagement. You know, if you're going to employ someone, and it doesn't matter who they are, a cleaner, a member of the bar team, a singer, a karaoke host, whoever you're going to employ, you employ them because they're good at the job. or you want them to do a job, tell them what to do and then let them get on with it. Don't keep going on at them. Oh, I've just been to the toilet. One of the sinks, you haven't quite polished the tap. Oh, for Lord's sake, please. Please, let them get on with their job. Why are you bothered paying them then? If you can do the job so well, sack the lot of them and do it all yourself. Oh, you haven't got time. Oh, it's below you, is it? The best managers are those, and we've got one at the moment at Central Station. The best manager are those that go round and wash the tables. They're not dishing it out to the bar staff. Oh, table needs cleaning. So, no, they pick up a cloth when they see something needs to be done and they do it themselves. They're the best managers. In pubs, in my opinion. You know, or those that are sitting at the bar getting totally and utterly drunk with the customers, usually at the customer's expense because they're buying the manager the drinks. That's a good manager when you're getting your hands dirty with the staff. And that goes, I think, for all jobs, to be honest. You know, not those that every 5 minutes they go to the till, press. Oh, we've only taken 25 quid. Oh, please. You worry too much about your money. As long as there is enough coming in. The greed is unbelievable with some of these people. You know, constantly taking till readings to make sure that more money's coming in than did in the last half. That is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Be nice to your staff. That cleaner is probably the most important person in there. That person selling the drink is far more important than the job I do. And they're on nothing like the money I'm on. Far more important. You know, if you've got no barman, how are you going to get the money in? So important to make sure your staff are happy and not feeling micromanaged, shall we say. I have a lot of messages for you, boys and girls. I'll work through those in the order that they came in, my loves. Patricia goes on to say, when the vibe changes and you feel it, it's so sad. Yes. Yeah. When you feel a vibe change, and it may not have changed badly, but it's changed. You see what I mean? She says, when you feel the vibe change and you feel it, it's so sad. They will lose someone very special. And she goes on there. She's going to email in a photo this week. Okay, my love. Trying to find one where she doesn't look like a scarecrow. Oh, don't worry about how you look, Patricia in Manchester. Yeah, it doesn't matter how you look, my love. Seriously, it doesn't. We don't care what people look like. The only time I'll go on about people's looks are people that I really know well, and I'm joking with them, and celebrities. Because celebrities are there to be cut down. I'm sorry, they are, including me. There's some sort of gossip website for some of the YouTubers. I don't think I'm on any of them, but there's a gossip website. Gosh, you should see what they say on there. Some of it's hilarious, I've got to say. Keyboard warriors, you see, they just sit there and they look for faults and things like that, you know. They look for faults and they blow them out of all sense of proportion, or they wait for a dodgy picture of you and then quickly photo snap it. So, you know, I'll tell you what, if there are any of those people watching the show tonight, you know, I'm not going to make you wait for that moment when there's a really dodgy picture of me. I'm going to do one now for you and you can snap that. You ready? There you go. Look at all that time I've saved you now. Now move on to someone else and enjoy yourselves, my love. That's it. Thank you. Evening to the lovely Mark Bowles. Evening, Mark. Welcome along to the show, Mark. Hello to my lovely Shania. She's on the Isle of Wight. I'm hoping back to visit again the Isle of Wight this year at some point and play the organ at Shania's church there. Hello, Shania. Hello to Jet in Canterbury. Hello, Jet. Excuse me. Jet in Canterbury is there, who says the largest snowflake on record measured 15 inches and was discovered in Montana, January 1887. Oh, Jet, I didn't know you were that old, my love. Were you there? Was it you discovered that snowflake in 1887? Gosh, I know we got some older people here, but blimey, you're taking the mick, Jet. Jet in Canterbury, hello to you. Hello to Zoe, evening to Zoe there. She's fine, although looking after a relative's pet fish at the moment, popping into his place to check on them as they've gone away for a few days. Had to save a fish's life today. It got itself stuck very awkwardly behind the filter. Was fine when I freed it, though. Oh, my word. I do hope that it wasn't sucked into the filter. Didn't I see a story of this year somewhere where a swimming pool filter or something went a bit wild and someone's arse got sucked into that? I don't think they went down the filter, but it kind of sucked them and they got stuck in the filter. Did I see that somewhere? Or is that something someone's made up for comical purposes, maybe? Deb's in Bracknell there. Hello, Debs. Hello, Debs. Nice little voice from Bracknell here saying hi. Hello, Debs. Did you manage to make it to church this morning, I wonder? I think it was John today, wasn't it? I'm due on next Sunday, incidentally, playing 8:30 and 10:30. But because of where I am at the moment and the illness I had, the hymns are not ready for next Sunday. So I'm probably going to do those Tuesday sometime and then upload them there. Good evening to Maureen. Hi to Maureen. She's had a nice time. She spent some time with her daughter, staying with her for a few days around the Christmas period. So hello to Maureen there. She's just gone home there. So I'm glad you had a nice time. Did you do all the cooking there, Maureen? I would imagine you're a very traditional cook. You do everything from scratch, I would imagine. Nothing frozen. Make your own gravy. I'm just guessing. Nothing out of a packet from Marks and Spencer's. There's nothing wrong with doing that whole Marks and Spencer's, Waitrose, Tesco's thing, where you buy, okay, the potatoes are in there, take the plastic off, put them in the oven. There's nothing wrong with that. But is it as good? I don't think so. My sister does lovely roast potatoes now. She never used to be able to do them. I mean, they were white. But she's got the hang of that now. I've got to be honest. I've had some lovely dinners at my sister's and indeed at my nephew's. His wife cooked me dinner the other day, which was delicious. Evening to Jason Hughes. Merlin's there. Good evening, Merlin. Hello, darling. Merlin says, when I used to do breakfast radio, I used to play the Lighthouse Family Lifted or Ocean Drive long enough for a quick break, or if I needed longer, I'd play Zombie by the Cranberries by Merlin. That's from Merlin there. Yeah, you got to have a long record on there, haven't you? I've got to say, and Maureen, I don't think you know this, Zombie by the Cranberries is not a favourite of mine at all. I find that a depressing song. Zombie, the Cranberries, horrible song. I know you sing it, Maureen, and it's just that Merlin has mentioned it there. But yeah, it's not one of my favourite songs, that one there. But you do have to find a long record. But the problem is, although if I want to go and use the toilet and it's a karaoke or a long record, 5 minutes may not be long enough. I mean, it's possible that it isn't long enough, even at 5 minutes. So I think in future, taking the break and having a 10-minute run of songs that can one after the other just play on their own, I think that's the way to go from now. And I'm not running up and down to the bleeding toilet anymore. You know how it is as you get older. You have certain needs, don't you, boys and girls? You know what I mean? I mean, the thought of going on a 3-hour coach trip, no, absolutely not. No way. I mean, me and my mate did that in Israel a couple of years ago, and it was a nightmare. We didn't even get to the point of being desperate. But it's the very fact that in your head, for 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever, there's no toilet. I mean, lads, you can take a bottle on there. Okay. But what if it's the other one? What are you going to do? Was it Roy? I think my friend Roy says there are adult nappies. But I just don't fancy the thought of having to sit in my own for hours on end. You'd imagine when I was doing this show, when I started doing this show, in my 40s, in my early 40s, I can't imagine me talking about this stuff then. And here I am at 62, you know, and we're quite happy to talk about these things now. There's no embarrassment, is there? Imagine being like a teenager with your group of peers all the same age, and you're saying, and you know, I don't know, great niece Evie saying, "Oh, yeah, I had a little bit of a problem. I don't like to move too far away from the toilet." They'd all be horrified, wouldn't they? Well, she just wouldn't do it. It's funny, isn't it? As it changes as we go up there. Hello to Roy Brownlow. Hello to you. He often phones people when he's on the loo. Yeah, I've done that. He says autistic people like me don't lie or change or don't like change or unpredictability. No, I mean, I just hate it. I hate it. George is there. Good evening, George. He's just had his English cooked dinner. What, as opposed to what? Were you going to have a French one or a Portuguese one? It's nice for you there. Hello, someone's laying in bed watching us. Look at this. Hi, Chris. Oh, no, they're not. They're not in bed. Why did I think he was in bed? I'm sorry. Hi, Chris. Loved watching your recent trip to London. How do you readjust by going back home after such a nice holiday? How do you beat those blues? Any tips? And that's from Louise, Stuart and Eleanor, who are in Scotland. Do let us know what part of Scotland you're in there. It's a beautiful country. My niece at the moment, I don't know if you know Tracy, from Tracy and... Is it Ben and Tracy or Tracy and Ben? I think it's Tracy and Ben Vlogs. From Tracy and Ben Vlogs. They live in Lossiemouth at the moment. He's RAF lad. And they've lived in Cyprus, at the moment Scotland, and they intend to stay in Scotland. I've had this conversation with my niece a couple of times now. Will you come back? Because she's from where I am now at the moment in Lincolnshire. And I said to her, you know, when do you think you'll move back down? I don't think we will. We like it here too much. They're going to stay in Lossie. They like Lossiemouth in Scotland. As the area goes, that's probably the more expensive part of the area that they're in. But they love it very much. I've been up there 3 times now, and I've got to say, it's a lovely place. It's quiet. There's no rush hour. It's peaceful. They have the most amazing... the most amazing coastline there. You know, you go to some seaside... Just a minute. Can I just turn my heating off? Alexa, turn off home caravan air. Alexa, turn off caravan bedroom air. Alexa, turn off caravan bedroom air. There it goes. It is a stunning part of the world, Lossiemouth, and it's very old worldy. You know, there doesn't appear to be any aggro around there. There are certain parts of it where the houses it's all a bit rough, rough and ready, but that's okay. It's not like where I live, you know, rubbish all over the ground. I do litter picking usually on a Saturday for about 3 hours, and sometimes an afternoon or 2 during the week. And, you know, you pick it all up and then you drive down there later and there's no litter because I've picked it up. And then as the days go on, it starts reappearing and all that. And it's a shame, really, you know, how people are. Even around here, it's not too bad round here. It's not as bad as where I am. But still here, you know, I'm coming down the road in a couple of fields and there's a McDonald's cup with its plastic top just laying on the side of the field, what's clearly come out of someone's window. I do hate anything like that, really. Where my niece lives in Lossiemouth, don't really see it. It's a lovely part, but they're definitely going to stay there or very close to where they are now. That's where they want to be, and good luck to them there. So yeah, do let us know where you are, Louise Stewart, and I don't know what part of Scotland they are. Dean's there. Hello to Dean. Evening to Dean. Welcome along to the show, Dean. All right. Zoe says the fish was not sucked into the filter. I'm glad to hear it. Should be okay to go in tomorrow and check things again. Yeah, you keep feeding them little fish. They come to the top, don't they? You know, when you go and feed someone's fish, you know, you walk in there and you go over to the bowl or whatever, and the fish immediately come to the top. Don't they? The little mouths are open like that, aren't they? By the way, just to let you know, myself and my sister recorded a video yesterday. We went to the Horncastle Garden Centre to see what bargains were to be had, and there were some very, very good bargains in there. The only thing is, by the time you see it, I would imagine everything will have gone. You know, this is the Christmas stuff that they sell off much cheaper, and much cheaper than it normally is. Okay, that video will be coming out on Wednesday, around about 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock. I think I've got that set for. I haven't quite finished putting it all together, but main part of it is all there, and that'll be coming out on Wednesday as one of my little recorded videos. All right. George had an English cooked breakfast. It's not breakfast, is it? It's dinner. Well, it's an all-day breakfast, George. Isn't it? You've had an all-day breakfast. There's nothing wrong with that. I've done that. You know, I'm vegetarian, but basically I have the same of yours, except the vegetarian sort of side of things. You know, a couple of eggs, nice vegetarian sausages. Linda McCartney ones are nice. Or Richmond. I think there might be vegan or vegetarian. There is a difference. By the way, if you didn't know, between vegan and vegetarian, I can have either of those. It doesn't matter. I'm happy to have either of those. People often say, why did you become vegetarian? I watched factory farming videos one night, and then that was it, there and then. I thought, I don't want anything to do with this. I thought it was cruel, nasty and horrible. I'm not here to criticise whether you eat meat. If you was to turn up here and you're a non-vegetarian, I'll do you a chicken dinner. No problem. I do your pork sausages or something. Won't eat them myself, but why? You know, that's your choice. You know, it's not up to me to tell you. Now and again, I might joke. I might have a little bit of a joke with you. Unfortunately, some people don't always see it as a joke. They see it as you trying to teach people things, and you can't change their minds. You know, some people are so blooming stubborn about things. Oh, you're preaching to us not to tell us to eat it. No, I'm not. You do what you like. But I might say, oh, what are you having today? I'm having a meat pie. Oh, you're having a dead animal pie. No, it's not a dead animal pie. Well, yes, actually it is. What is in it? Dead animals. Yeah? But I do mean it as a joke and not any sort of malice in it at all. So, yeah, George, I love sometimes some of the vegetarian bacon, although that can be a bit hit and miss, the vegetarian bacon. Some of it, you just try and take it out the packet and it just breaks and it's useless. There's one that Aldi do actually, and it tastes all right, but trying to get this blooming stuff out of the packet, was it made out of pea protein or something like that? Or something like that, I think it is. So yeah, it's quite nice to have that, and of course the baked beans. Eggs are okay for a vegetarian. Eggs. Well, what did I have when I was at the hotel in Claridge's? I had scrambled eggs, little tomatoes, and they do them on the vine. Oh, so sweet, so sweet. Big thing of baked beans, vegetarian sausages, those potato things, were they? Hash brown, toast. I mean, so much to eat there. Shania, thanks for setting my Alexa off. Sorry, darling. Sorry, did I set your Alexa off? Big G's here. Hello, Big G. He was misbehaving last night, weren't you, Big G? I have been informed. Someone got a little bit drunk and started upsetting people, didn't they, Big G? And I know what you said as well. Tiny tots, Believe me, this cough is not what it was, okay? Don't worry. Anyway, Big G's at a family party tonight. Well, they won't have any food left, will they, you fat git? He sits there scoffing it all and all the free drink. Oh, my... Don't invite Big G to a party. You'll have nothing left. What's the word? Positions himself at the end of the kitchen table where all the food is. Like that he is. Terrible. It's at a family party tonight. We'll be watching the show back later, so if you say anything mean, I will know. Well, I mean, don't worry. Actually, I'll save you the trouble of having to watch the show. I'll text you what I say later on for your amusement. Okay? Roy says he likes sitting on the toilet with his iPad. I'm there for so long that there's no need to wipe my bum. It has fossilised. Oh gosh. Well, you want one of the toilets that they've got at Claridge's. Oh my word. They've got jets of water for which you can adjust the temperature and the pressure of the water being fired into your private parts. It's the Totos they're Japanese, made by a company called Toto. If you've got money, boys and girls, if you've got a bit of money to spare, right, and you don't know what to spend it on, get yourself a Toto toilet. Luxury like you would not imagine. Never, ever again will you sit on a cold toilet seat. You know how it is, you know. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Cold toilet seat. It's horrible, isn't it? Never go nice warm seat. Then you the toilet. As you approach the toilet, the lid opens. You sit down there on the warm seat. The toilet is already putting down water. You know, to what's the word? Liquefy the I don't know what you would call it now. To make the side of the toilet wet so that nothing sticks to it. Oh, you won't need a brush, dear. You won't need a brush. There won't be any marks in that toilet when you're finished. Then when you're finished, you know, you can flush. I like to flush the chain at that point to get rid of anything. And then comes the jets of warm water. Hours I was sitting there. You can adjust it, and this water will fire up, and then it'll move backwards and that way. Then it moves that way and that way if you want it to. This is all done by remote control while you're sitting there. Oh, it's lovely. And then when you finish, you push another button, and warm air dries you perfectly. Toto toilets. Toto. Look them up. They've got them in Claridge's. Bleeding wonderful. Hours of fun. Anyway, Roy says, I can't stand due to pins and needles, and I have to walk slowly, and previously I'd be reading the Argos or Screwfix catalogue for hours on end on the car seat. Oh, the Argos catalogue, Roy. Come on. I don't believe for one moment you read that thing. Oh, no. Put everything together yourself with screws and screwdrivers. Oh, what's it with all that people buying flat-packed furniture? Oh, I can't be bothered to do that. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I remember my nephew last year. He bought, the younger nephew, Jimmy, he bought a pizza oven from somewhere on the internet. I don't know where he bought it from, but a flat box arrived with sheets of metal and screws. And he had to put this entire thing together himself. Sod that. If I'm spending £100, I want some bloke in bleeding China to put it together for myself, and I'll receive it in a large box, thank you very much, and place it into position and plug it in, or whatever you have to do. Now, this was a wooden thing, and you put pellets into it. I can't remember. I don't think he had it plugged in. I don't know. But it had a thermometer on it, and he's putting these little bits of wood in. And, God, it was taking forever, because it has to get up to temperature before you put the pizza in, this pizza oven. And eventually he did the pizza, which were the best pizza ever that I had tasted. done by my younger nephew Jimmy and his beautiful wife Charlotte. He's got 2 children now. There's Frank, who you saw on the Paris videos, and of course baby Ernie, who didn't make quite as much as an appearance, but that will come as the years go on, I'm sure. And it was by far the best pizza I have ever tasted. But what a lot of mucking around. Then if, you know, he would have done one pizza, maybe I'm going to have that one, and then he starts putting more wood in. Right, okay, we've got to get back to the temperature. Waiting and waiting and oh no, I can't be arsed with that. I pick up the phone. Hello, is that Domino's? Let me tell you, the Domino's pizzas were nothing on what that boy did, on what that boy and his missus did in that pizza oven. Absolutely delicious. A lot of effort though. Is it worth it? I don't know. It's worth it if someone else is doing it, isn't it? Because I can't see myself mucking around with that. It's like these people with the barbecues and in the summer, aren't they? They got the barbecue on. Oh, they make me laugh, these old codgers. Out they go. You know, there they go, start doing on the barbecue, turning over the sausages and all that, like they are the only one who ever does the cooking in that family. Don't think so, mate. You see them on the videos, don't you? There they are. They got the chef's hat on. They got the bleating thing around their neck. You know, and all this business, and there they are, giving it all the mouth while they're turning over these bits of steak and other various dead animals. They put it on the plate like they have created the world's best meal. Well, it's all very nice, but it's not you that usually cooks, is it? Why have you made it look like that? It's the missus that's in the kitchen all the time, doing the cooking, 7 days a week. 51 and a half days in a week, and for 2 days in the summer. You know what I mean, girls? Am I lying here? Come on. Am I lying? No. For 2 days of the year, out wheels the barbecue. There they are. Yeah, and I think they've done something wonderful. Yeah, you've done a lovely meal. Thank you very much. It was lovely. But why have you made it look like you're the only one that ever does the cooking in the house? Because you're not, are you? And then, come on, girls, who cleans the barbecue afterwards? Yep, I thought so. Oh no, I've got to have a lay down now. I'm tired now. I've done all that cooking, you know. And then the woman has to go and clean the barbecue. Isn't it funny how life is, really, when you think about some of these things? It really is. It amuses me no end how people are. Merlin, did you do your Christmas stay at Claridge's this year? Yes. Yeah, we did a couple of videos, me and my mate, both of which went up a while ago, and have done actually quite well, these 2 videos, for amount of people that have watched them. He said, I've not done the last 2 years now that I live in London. They called me out of the blue last week to check I was okay and if they had done anything to stop me from coming back. Did they really? Well, they're really good. The thing is, Merlin, now, you know, I've stayed there a few times, and I'm not particularly far out. I don't need to go and stay there. I just love the luxury, you know. And that's what I do with my money. You know, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't go to football. I mean, if you're a football fan and you go to football a few times a year, well, you've probably paid for a week at Claridge's. You know what I mean? Things are so expensive to do now, and I love it. The next time, I'll probably be going on my own next time, to be honest. And we had a great time there, and that unfortunately is where my illness appeared to have taken hold while I was in there on the last day. But I mean, it's 10 to 7. I can't believe that it's already 10 to 7. I thought I might be doing a short show today, what with the cough, but it's not too bad. I can cope with it. Yeah, and each time we go, Merlin, as you'll probably know this, the room seems slightly better. We've never stayed in the same room twice. We stayed in the same what would you call it? Category of rooms. So the first room we stayed at was the Mayfair balcony room, I think it was called. We did that twice, and then on the third visit they upgraded it to a Claridge's balcony room, which was on the 6th floor. And we've done 3 of those. Each one has been different, and they must have some sort of routine there where each time you go, it does appear, although it's the same status room, each time the room seems slightly better. On this visit, we had not 1, not 2, but 3 balconies on the 7th floor. We had 3 balconies. You couldn't make it up, and this room was enormous. It was a fantastic stay. Fantastic. And I'm sure that's part of their thing. And you know, what amazes me is as you can walk around the hotel, hello, Mr. Reardon, how do you know me? You know, as you go from department to department, whether the bar or the restaurant or even the shop. Hello again, Mr. Reardon, how are you? And you're like, how do you know? How do you know? It's a year since I was last here. But, yeah, I think next time I'll go on my own, and I don't have too much of a problem with that. And the breakfast and all that is just wonderful, yeah. Yeah, that's nice that they rung you, though, I must say. Dean has bought a lordship from Scotland. Oh, I've got one of those. My niece bought me that. I'm a laird. A laird. I don't think it really means anything. It means you own about an inch of land somewhere in Scotland, doesn't it? Or something like that, yeah. Maureen, my daughter, is vegan, so no meat for her. So I just cooked fresh vegetables, which Mina enjoyed. I used the vegan gravy granules. Yeah, I think out of all the food that I've had since I've been up here, and my sister's done us, I think, 3 dinners so far. I took a pie over today, and that I picked up from Tesco's after church in Lincoln, and but it's the vegetables. She does these vegetables in a way, and I don't know how she does them. The potatoes, the vegetables, just delicious. Just I could easily just have that, to be honest. And they're all like, they're not hard. You know, sometimes you go like a posh restaurant and they don't cook them like as you would do them at home, like when they're soft inside or something like that. You know, my sister does them and they're all very, I don't want to say mushy. They're not mushy, but they're almost at that point. And they are absolutely delicious. I don't know how she's doing those vegetables. I get the feeling she might be doing them in the air fryer, which they use a lot. Well, I mean, I've got an air fryer. Mine's, I think it's 3 years old now. My sister gave me that. She's practically fitted my kitchen here because one of the presents I got this year, I have a very old gas cooker in there, which works fine. Now, my sister and her husband, they've got these. It's like a hob, and you just plug it in, and it's got 2 rings on it. It's electric, and it's that, I can't think what it's called now. It pulses, apparently. It pulses. The electric pulses. It's not like an electric ring, you know, on like the hob that I've got at home, you know, where you turn it on and it glows red. You can't put anything on it. No, this is some sort of magnet thing, I think. I can't think for the life of me what they're called now. These machines, but nevertheless, it pulses electricity apparently, and I've used it 3 times now for baked beans, soup, and something else. Can't remember what the other thing is now. Soup and something else, and it's very, very quick and so clean. It's so clean, you know. So I've now got that in there, and I've got an air fryer in there that she gave me the air fryer for here this year sometime. I think it was back in the springtime, and they had a spare one of those. And I've got a microwave here, and I bought a new toaster yesterday. Actually, my toaster died, So I bought a new toaster for 20 quid. It's quite funny actually. In the toaster shop, which is like a factory outlet, 20 quid. So I'm buying this toaster. And I'm not being cocky here, but you'll see what I mean. And as I bought this toaster, he said, right, there's the receipt for the toaster. It's got a year's guarantee on it. The only thing is you need to contact Swan to activate the guarantee. I said, what, for a £20 toaster? He said, well, yeah. I said, well, don't worry about that, mate. I'll buy a new one if it goes wrong. Honestly, 20 quid. It's not like a £200 cooker, is it? You know what I mean? £20 toaster, and but you know he's a nice bloke in there, so I got one of those. Yeah. So yeah, the vegetables that my sister does now, she's doing them in a different way, and I don't know what it is she does to them, but they are absolutely delicious. I sat there this afternoon, as I say, I went round with a pie that I'd got from Tesco's after church, and the vegetables and the potatoes on the plate, even the Brussels sprouts. And some people, they don't quite do them enough, do they? Oh, delicious vegetables. Delicious. And the potatoes and everything she does. Apparently she sprinkles an OXO cube over the potatoes now for making it brown. Now, you could be arguing, oh, but you're vegetarian. Listen, I'm not lefty vegetarian. Do you know what I mean? I'm not lefty vegan or anything like that. You know, if you invite me round to your house and you do me a nice dinner, and you put gravy over it, and I'm sitting there, oh, I'm sorry, it's an OXO. Don't worry about it. I am grateful that you took the time and trouble to make me a dinner. Okay? And just to let you know, I do have my calendar here in case you wanted to invite me round for a dinner. Okay, just to let you know that I've got my birthday coming up on the 5th of February. I'll be 63 this year, next year. So you know, you've got time to take me out to a restaurant or a dinner or something. Nothing poncy. This is the only thing with the Claridge's, Merlin. You know, the food, unless you're going sort of bar snacks, pizzas, pasta, that sort of thing. If you go into the proper restaurant and it's truffles and oh no, I'm a bit ordinary with food. There are countries I'd like to visit: Japan, China. Why would I like to go to China? Mainly to go on the train. I know it sounds silly. They have the fastest. It used to be that Japan was the fastest one, the bullet train. China now have the fastest train, and it levitates. It's not on rails. It floats. I'd like to go on that. And I think it was my sister. I was watching a video with her last night of this world's longest water slide. And this thing that the Chinese have built goes through the country, and you go down, and it goes at a speed. Doesn't look like it goes too fast like a roller coaster, because I won't get on a roller coaster. And this thing just goes round and round. You're on it for ages. And that looks like great fun. Do something like that. And to visit the Chinese technological cities where everything works. Don't need money. Just touch everything with your phone everywhere. But I don't have a problem eating. I suppose I could put on even more weight than even be fatter than I am now, and take the opportunity of not eating for 2 weeks. And lose the weight that I've gained. Maybe that's an idea. Hello to Bosch Washer. Hello to you. There we go. Louise Stewart and Ella, they're in Perthshire, where it's absolutely beautiful. Thank you. These are the people in Scotland there. Just in case you don't know where Perthshire is. We used to live in Bracknell for a long time, coincidentally. Oh, did you really? What part? Have you told me this before? Apologies, sometimes you have to tell me things a few times because, you know, obviously lots of people chatting away, and I do forget things. I didn't know he was in Bracknell. What part of Bracknell? I live in Hanworth, which is in between Great Hollands and Birch Hill. And I like it very much there. The flora there, as I mentioned, I think on last week's show, is completely different to Lincolnshire. Here, I'm at this moment in a rusty old caravan, and it is old, let me tell you. Okay, I've had a number of problems in here. Fortunately enough that my brother-in-law and my nephew are talented people where it comes to DIY, and if you tell them a problem, they will be able to solve it, whether it be a leak or I've had the floor repaired here twice, 2 different areas of the floor where it's become wet because there's been a leak, and then the floor goes soggy, and over a period of time you literally fall through it, and it has to be fixed, and that's been done twice here. I'm not talented to do those sort of things. I can talk, I can play the piano to a point. Again, I'm not a professional piano player or anything like that. I just about get away with it. If I played the organ in your local church or cathedral, you wouldn't know that I can't read music. I disguise it pretty well. Anyway, Louise, Stuart and Eleanor used to live in Bracknell. However, my family are all Scottish. Parents moved to London when they married. I was brought up in Staines, of course, which is the main train station sort of in our area. It all comes through Staines and then goes to various different other places, doesn't it? Stuart and I decided to move up 4 years ago. We love it. See, they've moved. They made the move. Thanks for reading our message from Louise, Stuart and Eleanor. Eleanor, our daughter, is visiting for Christmas. Lovely, Eleanor. It's nice to visit your parents, isn't it? She decided to go back and live in London. She's young and enjoying her new life after university. Well, I, as well as my sister, brother-in-law, we are all Londoners. We wouldn't move back there now. I work in King's Cross, which is an area of London, and very, very expensive properties there. And it's a dump. I think it's an absolute dump. Lots of areas of London, including King. And don't be telling me, oh yeah, they got flats in there. You know, £1 million, these flats. Which is all very well if you want to stay in your flat forever. Then you have to come out of it and go to Tesco's and deal with the scum walking around there in that area. It's horrible, London. I think it's horrible, I'm sorry. I was brought up in London when it was nice. It's horrible people walking around. Don't feel safe. Bleeding bikes all over the place. Scooters, electric scooters. People don't care. Grabbing your phones and all that. What a difference that is, I bet, from where you are in Perthshire. Certainly is beautiful in Scotland. And round here, you know, I'd be quite happy now to walk out of here 10 o'clock at night. Maybe go for a long walk along the river. I wouldn't be worried at all. Actually, where I live, I feel pretty safe walking around there. King's Cross? No. So, yeah. It's interesting that you moved up there 4 years ago. Are you still working or retired, I wonder? Louise and Stuart? Are you still working there? So if you've got a daughter, yeah, you won't be retired yet. I would imagine you're 40s. Are you in your 40s? So do you work from home or did you get a job up there? Just a matter of interest. And what is it? What do you do? Hello to Simon and Kelly. Hello, Simon and Kelly. Welcome along to the show. We're new to your channel. We enjoy watching, as we do enjoy watching The Butler's Empire too. And that's from Simon and Kelly. So welcome along, Simon and Kelly. You don't say where you are. Do let us know where you are. Okay, Paul and Lou are with us. They're up there in Birmingham. Hello to Paul and Lou. Just on Simon and Kelly there, new people to the show. This year, we have picked up an awful lot of people this year. As time goes on, and my brother-in-law and my sister often mention me doing this little show, and my nephew Gary and Stacey, they often give me a little passing mention, and you get a few little people join us from those mentions, which is lovely. And that's pretty constant now and again. A few more, a few more there. But there was a video that I did in October, and I hadn't done. I've continued to do these chat shows each and every Sunday, and now and again we might get a couple of people here, a couple of people there, as I say, you know, from other people mentioning this particular show, and you're very welcome. You're very welcome to join us there. I am aware that there's a lot more people watching live now than ever used to do. We used to struggle at sort of 15 or 16, maybe 20 people if we were lucky, and now we're like 3 times that, and it's nice of you to join us. I'm not led by numbers. Numbers don't really bother me too much, to be honest. But that being said, it is nice that more people can share and enjoy what we do here, because I've changed a lot, I think, in the last year. I'm not the same person. I tell you when I changed, when I dislocated my shoulder. That's 2 years ago now. When I dislocated my shoulder, I cannot tell you the pain. And something happened at that point. And I remember saying to people, something's changed in me here. And it was at that moment my life changed. It wasn't a near-death experience. I didn't nearly die or anything like that. Thank you to the man above. But something changed in me there. And I became more laid back, shall we say. A bit more laid back. I became more laid back. Anyway, time moves on, and I've continued to do these little chat shows. And then back in October, I think it was October, I've done the occasional little videos, you know, where you go out with your camera, whatever you're doing, ride on a train, I don't know, trip to the garden centre, something like that. Oh, I'll make a little bit of a video today. I was doing that. And when I had a holiday booked with my nephew Gary and his wife Stacey and their 3 beautiful children, Evie, she's the oldest one, who is now a beautiful young lady. And that happened about 6 months ago. I turned up there at their house and she came down the stairs. And I'm like, Evie? Hi, Chris. And there's this woman standing in front of me. If you've got children, that may have happened to you as well. And it's very, very sudden. It's not a gradual thing. That's the weird thing about it. There was this stunning young lady standing in front of me. And I don't know where she came from. Anyway, so there's her. There's great nephew Harry, who's a great laugh. And there's baby Charlie. They did have a little girl as well, Olivia, who they lost 3 years ago now. She had a lot wrong with her. And may she rest in peace. Lovely girl. So we went to the Isle of Wight. And I'd already thought, I'll do a couple of little videos while I'm here. I didn't do anything special. I didn't do anything different. I just thought I'll get the camera out and do a couple of little videos while I'm here. And we did this one in, I think it was called Sunrise or something like that, Sundown Garden Centre on the Isle of Wight. And it involved Christmas decorations. I think my sister had told me, you know, if you're going to do videos, people like this, people like that. And she said, oh, people like to go and see what we go and buy in the supermarket. Well, that's of no interest to me, I'm afraid, sister. If you're there, darling, you might well be there. But she says, that's what she says, you know, they do. They look into it more than me. My brother-in-law will do searches and things and decide what people like to watch and then do that, which is fair enough. I tend to go out, well, I'm going out here today. Do you know what? I'll make a little video today. And you never know how it's going to come out. You really don't. So off we went. And I thought, well, let's do this properly. And I did a little bit of an intro, I think in the caravan. And then I think Evie played, if I remember rightly, Evie played quite a big part in the video just because she was around, you know. Don't get me wrong, I love all my great nieces and all my great nephews all equally. Just want to say that, in case any of you are watching, no one is liked more than anyone else. But I don't think I ever thought I'd be so close to Evie as I am. And that's a weird thing. I don't know why. Maybe it's because she's older now and you're getting a little bit more on the same level. And I do have a laugh with her. And sometimes I'll say things just to get on her nerves. And she's like, Mum, Uncle Chris is being weird again. Anyway, I think she had a few talking parts on it, which none of this stuff is rehearsed. You know, it's none of it's planned. It just happens. And we made this video. And there was a lot of clips. When you see the videos of people doing their stuff, whoever they are, one of my favourites on the YouTube at the moment is a young lady called Hannah Ricketts, who does restaurant reviews and hotel reviews. And actually, she done Claridge's recently. And I'm very pleased to say she felt exactly the same as I do about Claridge's. 10 out of 10. She loved it. She loved it. And she's just done another hotel, which she gave 10 out of 10. The Peninsula. The Peninsula, which is nothing like Claridge's. Very modern. But I tell you what, they've got a pool to die for. They've got a pool, a spa in there to die for, according to her video. Anyway, and when these people make these videos, there are lots of little clips, little bits and pieces, and you have to look at them and put them all together. Sometimes you might move them around a bit, so that goes there instead of there, or you might have done something and, oh, well, I've got to redo that bit. So then you get to it and then, oh, no, delete that. There's the bit there, move it back a bit, and it's all a bit like that. So I had a lot of clips on this Isle of Wight video. And I went back, we had our day out and we went back to our caravan. And I started putting them all back together and did it all. And then I started it uploading to YouTube. Once you put it all together, then you join it all together, put a bit at the beginning and a bit at the end to make it look a little, you know, there's the intro, there's the outro, okay? You put it all back together. Thank you, Shania. The garden centre was called Busy Bee Garden Centre. Lovely place. Very well run, very clean, very tidy. Busy Bee Garden Centre on the Isle of Wight. Nice little place, that. All right. Thank you, Shania. And you put all this stuff over there. And then you upload it to YouTube. And then once it's uploaded, you give it a title. You make a little picture which is called a thumbnail, YouTube thumbnail, advertising that. Now, I wasn't particularly good at that, but I have got better on that, I think. And that basically has to stand out. So when people bring up your YouTube channel on their, is it quarter past 7? When you bring up the YouTube channel, or you've got your YouTube thing on the telly, you know, with all these different people doing their shows, you want your picture to stand out, because that's what gets people to watch your creation. I've made a creation. I've made something and I want you to watch it. I don't just want you to watch it, I want you to enjoy it. Otherwise, what's the point? There's no point. So you put all these bits and pieces together, you upload it to YouTube, you give it a title, you make a little thumbnail, which I've discovered can't just be a picture of you, which is the mistake I was doing before. You've got to do something with it to make it stand out, right? Even if it's just make the colours more vibrant or give it some sort of extra bits and pieces, or even to the point of the lettering, advertising it, you know, garden centre Isle of Wight or something like that. There are now AI tools which you can use to assist you in this, and I have been using those to great effect, I have to say. Much better than I could do myself. You know, instead of, you know, you select a picture, bring that in there, bring that in there. The AI thing is doing it. You say, oh, create me a YouTube thumbnail of a trip to a garden centre with family on the Isle of Wight, and use this picture. And you give it a picture to use, and it does it. And it will give you several different options to do. And it's very clever, very clever. So you do that, then you have to do all these little tags in there. Tags are things, you know, when you type into your search bar Bruce Forsyth, that would be a tag. So one of your tags would be Bruce Forsyth. You might have British entertainer, anything around Bruce Forsyth, and stuff like that. So you look at that. So as well as you thinking about these tags, again, there are AI tools that can help you with tags, or you can look at other people's videos who might have done a video about the Busy Bee Garden Centre on the Isle of Wight and see what tags they've used and literally copy them. You might think that's cheating, but everyone does it. Believe me, everyone's doing that. Right? They find something similar to what they've done, and then they copy those tags and paste them as their own. And that's fine. That's fine. Because you probably would use the same things anyway. And then you set it going. Now, I always, once I'd done it, I'd just let it go, and on it went. And my nephew said, no, that's the wrong way to do it. You switch it on somewhere between 5:30 and 8 p.m. apparently, because otherwise, if people are subscribed to loads of different things, as the time moves on, you drop down, drop. So if I was to upload it at like 12 o'clock at night maybe and switch it on at 12 o'clock at night, by 8 p.m. there's all these other people now in front of me. Yeah. So that's why you do it at sort of 8:30. And so I think I set it for 6 p.m. or something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 5 p.m. I think. I set it for 5 p.m. and then I had a little afternoon sleep or whatever. I got up and went over my nephew's caravan. And he says, I got in there and I hadn't worried about things. I don't worry about numbers and that too much. Oh, your video's doing well. I said, what one? Oh, the garden centre one. You are? Oh, yeah, that's live now, isn't it? He said, have you looked? I'm like, no. We'll go and have a look. And we brought it up. And it was, I don't know, 5:30. 45 minutes had passed. And 300 people had watched it. And well, that can't be right. I never get 300 people quickly like that. I'm lucky to have 300 people watched it 4 weeks later. And as we sat there in my nephew's caravan, the one that they'd hired was in Haven Holiday on the Isle of Wight, every 15 minutes he said, go and have another look. And this thing was going mad. And it was going up and up and up. And we couldn't find any rhyme or reason for it. And then the subscribers' numbers started jumping up as well. And I'm like, where are all these people suddenly coming from? And Gary joked, oh, it's probably because we mentioned it. No, I'm sure that, you know, a few more people had joined it when people mentioned it. But this didn't explain what was going on. And it just kept going up and up and up and up. And then a few days later, the subscribers were up like something like 800, 1,000. And it didn't make sense. Eventually it bottomed out, you know, and it stopped. And then the next video came out, which I think got about half as many people watching that. And it's kind of remained around that level, which is still not the same as obviously Hannah Ricketts or Walk With Me Tim and those excellently produced programs that people make on there. But I couldn't work it out, and I still don't really know why that was, why there was that sudden massive increase in people that were joining me and liking the stuff. Now, we all like to be liked a bit, don't we? Do you know what I mean? And the lovely comments that people were putting on there, just discovered you and and beautiful comments, and I always try and at least like and heart the comment, and I'll be really appreciated. I don't bother with this, and I see people doing it all the time, and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, if you could like this and is it hype? If you could like this and hype this, that would be great. thank you in advance if you're going to do that, but you don't have to. I don't push anything like that. I'm kind of just happy sitting here doing my thing, and if you like it, fantastic. Do you know what I mean? And I'm pleased that you like it. But I was absolutely astounded while we were sitting there on that particular night watching it just go up and up and up. And we don't really know why. Maybe we just hit something right on there, and I don't know. But that means there are a lot more people here now, and I think we were just a touch off the next 100 mark on the subscriber things. The weird thing is when you do get YouTube like analytics, and they tell you where people are watching and what have you. And the weird thing is the actual people that watch the show via a subscription. So if you've got, when I do a new show, bing bing, oh, Chris has done a new show, that's actually quite low, believe it or not, in comparison to people that have just come across it. So I don't know how that works really. Am I that bothered? Probably not. As long as there's a few people out there, I've always said, if there's one person enjoying what you're doing, then it's worth doing. And there's plenty of channels out there, some of which are very, very good, and they've got just a handful of people watch their shows. There's also an awful lot of badly made stuff which has got hundreds of thousands of views, and I never quite understand that. I find a few people on there a bit pompous and boring. A couple of the travel vloggers. There's one bloke, I won't mention him. There's one bloke, he does planes and all that, and he's just so pompous. And there's a lot of fakery, just the same as on the telly. A lot of fakery on there. People pretending to be somewhere they're not, or constantly acting. Do you know what I mean? They're constantly acting all the time, and it's all a bit fake. And that's one thing I would say about, for example, Hannah Ricketts, who's my present favourite YouTube host. Hannah Ricketts and Walk With Me Tim. I don't think there's any fakeness going on there at all. I think they are what you see on there. I don't think they meet up with other people. I think they're pretty much loners, a little bit like myself. I don't really meet up with other YouTube people or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with meeting up with other YouTube people. That's just not really, for me, a bit of backslapping going on there. I just do my thing. Do you know what I mean? The same as Tim does, and Hannah Ricketts and various other people there. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to say there about the Simon and Kelly, who in Stevenage. Oh yes, you're not too far from where I live in Bracknell. I know Stevenage. In fact, I'll be coming past you tomorrow night at some point on the A1M, under the Galleria, isn't it? I've never been to the Galleria. I don't like that bit of the road. You go underneath, and it's just so fast, isn't it? Yeah, I know exactly where you are there. So anyway, that's the story there. So all those people that have joined us this year and are maybe still here, I hope you continue to enjoy the shows. As I say, there's another video coming out on Wednesday where me and my sister went to the garden centre. And like I said to you, you never know how well the video is going to come out, really, until you get back and you start putting it all together. Now, there was something wrong, actually, with all the video clips, and they were not going into the software. All my little videos that I do, out and about, they're all done on the phone. That's everything. The filming, the editing, I use something called Perfect Video. It's all done. That if I do a talk over, I'm like doing this. Yeah? It's all done on the mobile phone, which is great. Is it the best quality? Probably not. Probably not. When I see, like, from my sister, she's got this little handheld thing, but then you have to take the thing home, and then you've got to sit in front of a computer, pull all the videos in, edit them, put it all back together again. And it's a bit more long-arsed way of doing it. Although, that being said, it's probably the better way to do it. Maybe I'm a bit lazy and I do the whole lot on my phone. So I get back here, on go the glasses. Usually I do it straight away. I can't be waiting. And put it all together and upload it onto the YouTube there, and do it a bit like that. So there we are. Jet in Canberra says that's what Sharon and Martin use. The induction hob. That's it. That's what I've got now. I've got a double induction hob in my caravan kitchen, which is fantastic. It's very, very quick. Very quick. Thank you, George says induction hob as well there. We were talking about there. Shania, we were talking about the Busy Bee Garden Centre. Oh, do you know I haven't done the emails? Is there any email? No one sent an email today, have they? People generally don't send emails. They use the text number. Just a reminder, gang, if you've just joined us there, welcome along. There is a chat box that many of you are chatting in. I am not in the chat box, okay? It's impossible to extract the messages for me, unfortunately. So if you're going to send us a message, please use the... there we are. Please use the email down below there. I'm only here for about another 20 minutes or so. Or you can text it. If you're in the UK, use the text number. That works really well. And the text number is 07451 287 337. All right, 07451 287 337. If you send us a message in the chat box, I'm not in it, so I won't see it, okay? Apologies, but it's just impossible to do it like that. Alrighty. By the way, how was your Christmas? Did you do anything out of the ordinary at all? Maybe you just don't do Christmas as normal. Perhaps you went on holiday or something like that. Did you? Do let us know. A little holiday, and I know people that have gone to Australia at Christmas, isn't it? Of course, it's the height of the summer now, and forgetting the terrible tragedy that happened on the Bondi Beach. I got to tell you, on the times I've been to Australia, and I've said to people, oh, can we go to Bondi Beach? And they're like, well, why do you want to go there? Well, isn't that like a popular tourist destination? Well, it is, but it's just a beach. It's nothing special, you know. If you're one of these people maybe that want to go to stand on a tourist spot just because it's a tourist spot, I suppose, yes, you would go and stand on Bondi Beach, but actually there's not a lot there, you know. It's just a normal beach, and they had that terrible incident there just a couple of weeks ago. Really awful thing to do there. Excuse me, let me just have a little sniff. You don't want to be hearing that sniff going on there. So yeah, perhaps you did something a little bit different for Christmas. I had a lovely time eventually, and yeah, a proper family Christmas. Yeah, and a nice time. Do you get any carol singers? I haven't seen carol singers for years now, and that incidentally is not singers by the name of Carol. We're not talking the carol singers that you sing in the church. And actually on Christmas Eve, I was due to play the organ in St. Mary's Church in Boston, which is not far from me. They don't have an organist there. And like I said, I'm not a professional. I get away with it, and I could have done something for them. And I was due to play midnight mass and 10 o'clock Christmas Day morning. But unfortunately, last week I was really ill. I mean, badly, ending up in A&E actually. I was really ill. And so on the Saturday, bearing in mind Christmas Day was of course Wednesday, so Thursday, wasn't it? Christmas Day was Thursday, so Christmas Eve would have been Wednesday night. On Saturday, I was really ill, and I decided at that point, you better tell them. You can't hope that you're going to get better, and then the day before, sorry, can't help you. You've got to give people time to sort something else out. Not that they could have done, because I don't think they had an organist, but they would have been prepared for the fact that they didn't have an organist, if you see what I mean. Maybe they put music through the speakers, which I know some churches do now. They've got a machine, or even on the mobile phone they've got like a Bluetooth thing in the ceiling, and they have music playing like that. So you've got to tell them. So on Saturday I sent them a message. You know, I'm very, very sorry, and I'm not someone that lets people down unless there's something seriously wrong. So I sent them a message. I'm really sorry about this, but I can't do it. And they were fine about it. And I got a couple of messages from Father, I think it's Father Dominic, who's the main priest in St Mary's, and the lady who looks after the music there. But again, there's no one else to do it, unfortunately. She doesn't want to do that particular thing, but like me, she sees something that needs to be done and volunteers herself. That's what I do. I don't necessarily seek looking for a place where I can play the organ. I seek for somewhere where they have no one to do it. That's what I like doing. If someone's not got something, I'll offer it. If I can, even if I don't particularly want to do it, which I'll be honest, I didn't really want to do it. But no carol singers. Stu and Sarah say, evening Chris, no carol singers for a very long time. We had my parents over for Christmas Day, and at 4 o'clock we had a power cut. Oh Lord. For about 2 hours. Luckily we had already eaten, but it was a good day. So no carol singers there. I don't remember the last time I had carol singers knocking at my door. It's got to be over 10 years now. In fact, I don't think this year we even had what's the thing before Christmas? The whole Halloween thing going on. I don't think we had that either there. Didn't have that either. Hello to Robbie and Pauline. Hello to Robbie and Pauline. They're in Ireland. Can't use the text number. That's right. Yeah, you've got to be in the UK to be able to use the text number, I'm afraid. At least I don't think so, unless it's WhatsApp. No, you can't. Oh, I don't know how I would do that. Can I put that on WhatsApp, that number? Do you know, Robbie and Pauline, that's a good idea. I'll look into that. That's a really good idea. That can I add a WhatsApp onto the text number? Then people, international people like yourselves, you don't really look at Ireland as international, do you? I just feel that we're all part of the same country, weirdly enough. Yeah, I'll have to have a little look at that. And anyway, thanks very much for the message there. And hello, Chris in Ireland. Can't use text number. So they've sent an email there, Robbie and Pauline in Ireland. You know, weirdly enough, Robbie and Pauline, I've never been to Ireland. No, and my nan was from Cork. She was Nanny Ryan. Nothing to do with that Ryanair, I'm pleased to say. Thank the Lord for that. I don't think how anyone can sit in those seats on a Ryanair plane. I do not know. It looks so blooming uncomfortable. Yeah, I'm sure people who sit on these badly designed planes, well, they're not badly designed. Basically, they stick as many seats as they possibly can on the plane to bring the price down. I mean, I get it. Would I want to sit in one? No, I blooming well wouldn't. Thank you very much. They look so uncomfortable. I'm sure some people, they squeeze, especially if we're a bit around the sides there, like I've got. You squeeze in between. It can't be comfortable, surely. Or they've convinced themselves before they've squeezed into those two bits of metal either side, and they've convinced themselves that, it is quite comfortable when actually it's really not, I reckon. Thank you, Robbie and Pauline. So no carol singers here. I'm afraid, boys and girls. Don't forget, Gunning, if you're going to send us a message, if it's coming to me, I'm not in the chat box, 07451 287 337 for your text number, or you can email in just at the bottom there, chris@chrisreardon.co.uk. Well, I've got a couple of bits to show you here. First of all, while I was in Claridge's, and this is where the illness started, and I'll tell you about that next, okay, I bumped into a huge star. A huge star. Now, when I told my sister this, and even I think my niece as well, they had no idea who this person was. And it was the last day, I was about to leave the hotel. And I had to pop in the bar area. I was looking for my mate, actually, because I couldn't find him, to see if he'd paid the bill, because we went in there after using the spa for a cup of tea. So I popped in there, and who was coming the other way but Yungblud? And I was going in, and he was coming out, and I just stopped, not right in front of him, because that's just bleeding rude. I stopped and kind of took a step to her. Oh, wow. Hello, mate. And he looked at me and smiled. You all right, mate? I said, I can't believe it. I said, bumping into you in here. I said, am I taking a mick? Is there any chance of a photo? He said, yeah, of course there is. Get your camera out. And I got the camera out, and there he is, Yungblud. And he is a huge rock star at the moment. Well, I think he's got it in him. Interestingly enough, he wasn't pretentious in any way, shape or form. He wasn't, get out of my way, I'm a star. He's a very nice young man. I don't think he's that old. Would you say he's about 26? I reckon he's about 26 there. And he's tall. He's got the dark eye makeup on. That's his thing there, and all the levers that he wears on the stage and all that. And he was really nice. Really, really nice to me. I was only talking to him for about 10, 15 seconds. But nevertheless, I don't know about you, but I make my mind up out of someone within a few seconds of meeting them. I can see straight through a fake. I know when people are lying. Even people that I know when you're lying. Whether or not I decide to say anything about it is another thing altogether, or whether I let it pass, I'll just usually let it pass and say nothing. It's a lot easier, isn't it? It's a lot easier. Some people lie so much that they actually believe their own lies. I'm sure of that. You say, well, that's red. No, it's not, it's blue. And they're like, no, it's not, it's red. Look, can't you see it's red? And you know it's blue. And I swear a lot of people believe their own lies. This young lad, Yungblud, his name's Dominic. There was nothing fake about him. He's clearly not doing any drugs or anything like that some of them do. You can tell straight away, just by the way someone talks to you. If it's a little bit like that, they're off their heads, and it's sad. I think I was talking to my brother-in-law about this the other day, these stars that we've lost on the drugs, the Elvis, Michael Jackson. I've got a feeling Whitney Houston, a lot of people like that, and they're being controlled. And I just think that's incredibly sad seeing that going on. The money men are in charge of these people. Well, the money men don't seem to be in charge of him. And hopefully he will keep his head screwed on. He was very lucky enough to meet the icon Ozzy Osbourne just before he passed, beginning of the year. Sharon looks really sad now, doesn't she? Ozzy Osbourne's wife. Well, I don't think she's going to recover from that, bless her. But hopefully she will be able to get on with her life and squeeze a few more years. Sometimes I think you love someone so much and you're with them for so long, and then they die, and you just can't carry on. I think that was the same for my mother, Auntie Marion, Uncle John. And you don't really see these long relationships anymore. I certainly haven't had a relationship for longer than a couple of years, to be honest. Most of them are months. It's just unlucky, I suppose, from my point of view. But then on the other end of the coin, maybe I won't have to go through that. I cannot imagine what it's like. to be with someone 20, 30, 40, 50 years and then they die. And you've done everything together. And I won't have to go through that, I guess, I suppose. But, you know, it's how it is. George, apparently you can put WhatsApp on your computer, so it might work, Chris. I might have a go at that and see what I can do with that at some point there. Anyway, there we go. So that's Yungblud, who I was very, very fortunate enough to meet. My sister had no idea who it was. My nephew knew straight away. He's huge. I mean, he is huge at the moment, especially with the young girls, of course, throwing themselves at him, rather. I mean, I have it all the time, you know. I can barely go into Tesco's anymore. People are throwing knickers and things at me. Bras come off. Oh, go away, go away. Send your boyfriend over here now, please. Thank you very much. It says in the Bible, thou shalt not covet thy friend's wife. Doesn't it say that in the Bible, girls and boys? Don't say anything about the husbands, though, does it? Stop it. No, you're making me very, very naughty now. Anyway, don't want to go on about it. I'm not a fan of people going on and on about their illnesses, but just to let you know what happened, if you've been with the show for a while now, you know that I've had this chest thing going on now since Paris, actually, since before Paris. And in Paris, I was literally coughing up green lumps, literally. Okay, went to clinic, got a load of pills, had them. The pills started just before I went to Claridge's on the Saturday night. I started the pills. I think it was Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. No, it wasn't. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just a 4-day course of antibiotics, which I didn't get from my GP. I go to a special clinic twice a year. I have a bit of a blood disorder. They look after it. It's all under control. Has been under control for 15 years, right? Okay. And it's viral. I have a virus and it won't go. Okay. Has to be kept under control. So I do have the option of walking into this clinic at any time if I can't get anywhere with a GP. GP, you go to them with a chest infection, give it another week. Well, my immune system is not good. It can't wait another week. That's when I go into the clinic and they start doing all sorts of tests, and they're very, very thorough. So they gave me these 4 course of pills, right? So I started taking them. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we go to Claridge's. Cough is still there. It's got better. It's got a bit better. The cough has got a bit better. Still there, but it's got a bit better. Okay, right, so that's fine. So that was the Monday. And the Monday, I finished the antibiotics. Tuesday was, okay. Wednesday morning, and to be honest, we'd done a lot of walking around in shops, Selfridges mainly, which I like. I adore Selfridges. Up and down Oxford Street a bit. We took a trip to Harrods because he had to pick some stuff up, and I think it was in Harrods actually on the Tuesday. I started feeling a bit, like that. The cough was still there. And then Wednesday morning, we got up for breakfast in the hotel. And we went downstairs. And I felt a bit odd then. Not quite with it. A bit disorientated. So the day went on. And we went to the spa. Downstairs in the hotel, which is just beautiful. There's rarely anyone down there other than us. I can't remember even if I did. I think I went in the swimming pool. Did 100 lengths in the swimming pool. It's only a small pool. Did 100 lengths. So I managed to do that all right with no problems really. I got out and had a little bit of a rest on the bed, and I was feeling disorientated. Eventually we went up and we discovered that our car was going to be a bit late, but that's okay. Went and sat in a bar and had a cup of tea. And I'm becoming more and more sort of detached. I didn't really mention it to my mate, but I think he became aware that I'd gone very quiet. Um, Eventually the car came and picked us up, and I kind of passed out in the car, I think, really. I know my eyes were closed, and we had to stop off at Harrods to pick up a couple of teddy bears. My sister wanted a teddy bear, and they had some in there. She'd been trying to get them online, but she couldn't, so you had to go in and get them yourself. So my mate jumped out the car and ran into Harrods. We gave the bloke another 20 quid for waiting, because it wasn't part of the deal. He got back in, and I think I was pleased to see the bears, and then I kind of went back to sleep again and got out at the other end, got in the house, and I think I almost immediately... No, I sat down, and then I had to go and pick up a couple of parcels, which were for a couple of children's presents for the Christmas time. So I got those and came back, and I went to bed. I didn't sleep well at all that night. And in the morning, I felt as rough as anything. Really rough. And I had a outing booked to go to the Nutcracker on my own. So I'm thinking all day long, I don't think you should be going to this. And eventually I thought, no, you're going to go to this and you're going to enjoy it. And I got there, got on the train. I think I slept on the train. And the show was good. I didn't feel right. Now and again I cough, which is embarrassing at something like a ballet, because everyone's dead quiet. There's no rustling of sweet papers. Not like what you get at a cinema or something like that. And I came home. I always do these things by train if I'm coming in and out at night. I park in the church car park, walk across and get the train. And I'm on this train. Everything ran to time nicely, you know, no gaps anywhere. And I got on this train and I'm sitting there, I've got myself a seat, and it's gradually filling up and people are getting on there and it's fine. And we're going so far and I'm like kind of a bit like this, you know. And I just closed my eyes for a while. I'd set my alarm on my phone for 1 hour, which is 2 stops before I get back. And I'm aware there's a bloke sitting in front of me. There's a lady next to me there. There's another lady there. And I thought, oh, it's getting hot on this train. Must be the amount of people on it. And off came the goat. But it didn't help at all. So then off came the jumper. And I suddenly became really hot. And I recognised this because this happened about 15 years ago, where I'd picked up some sort of virus. And I'm on this train. I'm like, and it's a weird thing. I can see it all now, almost like it's in slow motion in front of me, and I'm watching it from up there, like obviously I'm not dead, but out-of-body experience. You know, people talk about those out-of-body experiences, don't they? And they say, you know, while I was having the operation, suddenly I was above myself and watching the operation happen. It was a bit like that. And I can now see myself like this. Oh no. And I heard the bloke, are you all right, mate? Oh, yeah. Mate, are you all right? And I'm like that. He probably thought I was having a blooming stroke or something. And eventually I managed to look up, and he said, well, we'll get you off at the next station. Oh, where are we now? I think it was before Staines on the South West Railway. I said, oh, there's only another 20 minutes. No, we're going to get you off, mate. You need help. And there's a lady next to me. And anyway, we just happened to be at part of the journey where there's a bit of a gap between the two stations, you know, a long gap. And I remained like that for a while. And I remember he was talking to me. There was a lady next to me now talking to me, and another lady opposite me with a young girl behind me who had half a bottle of water. and they're all talking to me, and I'm now responding. Oh yeah, I think there's only another couple of stops. Well, we think you might want to get off the train. And at this point, this young girl gave me a bottle of water, and I was immediately apologetic to her. And I said, look, I'm really sorry. I haven't got any money on me to give you any money. No, that's all right. You have it. And I gulped this water down and immediately felt slightly better, like I had recovered from the lowest part of whatever was going on. And I then remained on the train. The bloke in front of me got off at Staines. The lady next to him kind of took over, and I was able to now converse. And it turns out that she's a young lawyer. He was a maths teacher, the bloke in front of me. The lady in front of me, the young girl behind her, was her daughter who had given me the water. And as time was going on, they were all talking, and I was now responding. So whatever it was had passed. Got back eventually to my end. I'm sure the bottle of water really helped me. And got off the train, struggled. I did struggle. I got back to the car, drove home, and went to bed. That was it. Friday, I felt so rough. I think I cancelled my radio show Friday. I can't remember doing that. I felt so rough. And most of the time, I was with my eyes closed, not asleep, just in my armchair downstairs. Like that. Someone let me down at this point. And that was hard. Really hard. But the illness was the thing. The day went on and it was fairly uneventful, other than me literally laying in this chair for hours like this. I rang up the clinic that I attend, and they had a look at the results that they'd taken some days ago when I'd gone in before, and they said, you've got a little bit of flu in there as well. A little bit. I don't know what they meant by that. A little bit of flu. So on top of the chest infection, we've got the flu as well. Onwards to Saturday. Saturday morning, I had a routine blood test because I've got some sort of little stone going on in my gallbladder, which is giving me pain now and again. It's not too bad at the moment. Comes and goes because it's moving around a bit. So I had this routine blood test to do, and I've gone to Heatherwood Hospital, which is a place where they do tests, and they can do little procedures and things like that, but there's no A&E. So I'm in there, and I've got there, always get to appointments far too early, half an hour before the appointment. Parked my car, walked in, there. And I'm sitting there in this chair, again, a bit like that. And then I suddenly started getting warm. I thought, oh no, not again. Yep, again. Off came the coat. Off came the jumper. And now I want to lay on the floor. I'm so close to passing out, I can't tell you. Really close. And I was either going to lay on the floor or fall on the floor. And I'm kind of on this chair like this. And all of a sudden, everything all right, sir? I looked up, and there's all these medical people around me. Where the bleeding hell did they come from? I'm thinking. Oh, okay, right, stay right there now. We'll get you a wheelchair. And I got the wheelchair, and I got in this wheelchair, and they took me to a side room. There's no A&E there. And they put me in this room. there's a doctor, 2, 3. There are 5 people around me now. I can see 5 people standing there. One, a doctor of Chinese appearance, who kept talking and asking me questions, and I was able to answer. I don't know what's happening. What's that? I was completely disorientated again, and I've now got a drip in the arm. Temperatures being taken, eyes being looked at, and all this going on. And they said, we've called an ambulance. You're going to A&E. Okay, it'd be about 15 minutes. I remember that. And all the time they're talking and keeping me talking and all that. Eventually the ambulance comes, take me to A&E, straight in, no queuing, on a bed. Doctor comes over, starts doing tests and all this, that and the other. I was in A&E for 6 hours. By which time they told me I had a chest infection and the flu. We might keep you in, okay? As time went on, another lady appeared. There happened to be a doctor's strike on at the time, of course. Now, this actually had benefits, believe it or not. Number one, apparently, according to the doctors, when there is a doctor's strike, A&E goes dead. No one goes. And number two, the people replacing I think they're called resident doctors now instead of junior doctors. The people replacing the resident doctors were consultants. So do you see what I mean? So you got the best of the best in there. Eventually this lady came over, Dr. Alex, her name was. And she was ever so nice. She said, right. She said, I've had a look at all your results here. We think you're okay to go home. We're going to give you some antibiotics and a prescription. Okay, fine. So I said, are you sure? Because it was worrying me that something was going to go wrong and I was going to be dragged back in again. And then, of course, you're at the beginning of the queue all over again, aren't you? But no, she was okay. So we waited a while and I ordered a cab to go back home, and I went back home. My lovely neighbour then offered to take the prescription to Tesco's, which was open until 8 o'clock. It's now 7, so we could get the prescription for the antibiotics. He went there. They've put the wrong date on the prescription, so they wouldn't give him the antibiotics. So what we then had to do was go all the way back down to the hospital, find the doctor that wrote it, who was so apologetic. It's okay, I know things are mistakes and that, but by now, of course, the place is closed. They give my first antibiotic, and then the next morning I went to Tesco's, aware that it was opening at 10 o'clock. Also very aware it was the Sunday before Christmas, so I knew it was going to be packed in there. And I got there at 20 to 10 for 10 o'clock start. There was one person in the queue. At 10 o'clock, no one appeared to open the blooming pharmacies, and a lad walked past. Hello, mate, is this opening soon? And we're kind of waiting. Oh, hang on, let me check. Yeah, there's 2 people just there now. They won't be long. Okay, thanks very much. They opened. 2 people came on the till. First person moved forward. I moved forward as well. Put my order in. They had everything on the prescription. By the way, the clinic I go to also sent out a prescription, but it didn't get to me. It didn't get to me. So the hospital wrote out that same prescription. I'm there now. She said, as I got forward there, she said, okay, I've got 2 of these items. I haven't got this one, which was an anti-flu thing that apparently they give people with immune system problems. You get this flu thing as well. So I said, okay, what's the options? She said, we can order the other thing is, probably won't come till after Christmas. You can just take those 2 items, or you can take the whole prescription somewhere else. I said, well, can you give me those 2 items and I'll take the prescription elsewhere for the other item? No, can't do that. You either have what they've got or take the whole thing back. And of course, there's no guarantee that the next place that you go to is going to have it either, or indeed the other 2 items, which they definitely have got here. So I got those 2 items, got them to order the other thing. She said, come back in 15 minutes. She said, don't join the queue, come straight to the front and just wait there and I'll give you your bag. I said, queue, and I looked round. There must have been 40 people now waiting at the pharmacy. And I knew it was going to be like that. And I rung up my sister, so I went and did some shopping in Tesco's. Bracknell, I think Bracknell North Tesco's it is. And I rung up my sister as I was going. I said, there's a stroke of luck. I knew it was going to be busy, so I got here early. She said, no, that's not luck. It means you're the one who's got the brain. Me and the person in front of me. So I was lucky with that. Got the pills, started them off. And so that would have been Sunday morning now. Sunday morning was pretty much a non-day. Couldn't really do anything. Kept my eyes closed in the chair. Monday was very much the same. Cancelled everything I've got. The radio show, the lot. Tuesday afternoon, I felt I took a corner. And I was feeling better. I do believe the fainting, the passing out thing, I believe that was the flu. I don't think it was the chest infection. I think it was the flu. I did mention to the doctor in the hospital that I'd had the flu injection. She said, well, that's probably saved you. She said, it would have been a lot worse had you have not had the flu injection. She said, you've got a little bit of flu. Even though you feel like absolute crap, it's not as bad as it could have been. Okay, fair enough. And then Tuesday I felt I'd turned a corner. I thought, oh, I wonder, am I going to be able, perhaps I can still come up and see my family. And Wednesday I decided to come. And gradually, so that was Wednesday, Christmas Eve. Wednesday night I felt well enough to go to the midnight mass, which was at the Church of England, which was surprisingly busier than it has been some years. So I managed to get to that. Thursday morning, Christmas Day, I went to the little Catholic church in Woodhall Spa, and then we had Christmas dinner. And as time has gone on, I have felt better. The cough is still a bit of an issue, but apart from that, I seem to have come through it. And thank you to the big man upstairs for allowing me to stay a little bit longer. So that's the story. And here we are now. Tomorrow I'm due to go back home because I've now taken back on the New Year's Eve that I had cancelled. I feel I can do it now. And besides, the bloke who was going to do it for me, he had already agreed to do it. And he says, how are you feeling? I said, well, not too bad. He said, well, do you want to do your New Year's Eve? I said, do you know what? I gave it to you. If you want to do it, that's fine by me. You know, I'm not going to take something back that I've already passed over. He said, Chris, I don't really want to do it. I said, are you just saying that, you know, because I said, because I'm not bothered. You know, I've been doing the job so long now that it is only a job, really. It was more than a job up to a little while ago, but it has become a bit more of a job. That might change. It might become more than a job again. I don't know. Just to see how things pan out, really. In what I do there. But he said, Chris, I really don't want to do that. He said, I'd rather be at the front with my friends with you doing the karaoke. Okay, I'll take it back on. So I've taken that back on. So therefore, I must go down home tomorrow, and so that I've got all of Tuesday to prepare that for Wednesday. You can't just do it on Wednesday morning. You know, I need to know certain things are ready and what have you. I have everything prepared so it all goes off like clockwork, even though you'll have some idiot coming up to you. Oh, you're 3 seconds late with Big Ben. Oh, you're 5 seconds early late. You just ride over it all. Just ignore them. You know, I always think it's quite amazing that people are sitting there looking at their watches rather than enjoying the night as it goes on. How sad are you? How sad are you that you sit there looking for faults instead of just enjoying the night like everyone else? Will you be going out New Year's Eve, incidentally? As a matter of interest, will any of you be going out? I'll tell you what I'm doing New Year's Eve, and there is a little poster here. There you go. That's it. So I'm hosting karaoke. There's a rather distinguished picture of me there, do you think? Or maybe I just look like an arsehole, one of the two. Anyway, that's the karaoke. It's free entry. Okay, they don't have a door charge. It's karaoke till about 11:45. Then we'll do the Big Ben and have some dancing for an hour afterwards until about 1 o'clock. I'm there till at 1. Okay, Central Station Park, Wharfdale Road, King's Cross, London, N19SD. That's where my karaoke night is on New Year's Eve. So if you're coming to that, come early. As I say, I start at 8. I'll be there by 7 easy. Getting things ready and all that. Can't really get there before that due to the bleeding Sadiq Khan and his traffic business going on and all that business going on there. So there we are. All right, so if you're not doing anything, that's where I am. I have a feeling it will be my last New Year's Eve. I don't mean I'm going to die before the next one. I don't know why. I just get the feeling that it's going to be my last New Year's Eve anywhere. I don't know why. I've never really felt that way before. I did stop doing New Year's Eves for about three years, about 5 years ago, and then I started doing them again, and they're all right. But I'm afraid, I'm really sorry. It's just a job now, and I will do the job as best as I can. And if anyone's there, I will do the best I possibly can to give you the best night I possibly can. But it is just a job to me. You won't see it like that while I'm standing up there. It's only because I've shared that with you. Yeah? You will be the only people that know this is just a job to Chris. You know what I mean? So there we are. Shania's tutting. What did I do something there? Thank you, Shania. She's tutting. I must have said a bad word. Sorry, Shania. Shania, incidentally, is head of the Catholic Church on the Isle of Wight. Alrighty. Carl's there. Hello to Carl. Did you have a good Christmas? Yes, Carl. Yes, I was very, very lucky to be among family, and I would go as far as saying it's one of the best Christmases I've had for years. Yeah, especially with the recovery, and I'm quite comfortable in the caravan and all that. Anyway, we're a little bit over time there, so we'll wrap it up there. My sister and brother-in-law are at this moment, got one of their live premieres on. They're not live as in this. They make a video and then they are sitting in the chat box live, and they will respond to you if you ask them questions. And to watch that, it's on right at this very moment. They've been going on there about 7 minutes now on the Butler's Empire channel. All right, thanks very much for joining me on the show today. I do believe I'm with you next Sunday. I'm pretty sure we've got another one of these next Sunday, starting, of course, at 6 p.m. Now, if you're around during the morning, I do a little radio show, okay? That's at reachonair.com. That's how you listen to that. You can watch the show, not on YouTube, okay? You'll have to download an app called Twitch. Once you've downloaded it, it's all free. Download a free app called Twitch, all right? Once you've downloaded it, look for me on there. My username is Chris Reardon UK. I'll be on there tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock for an hour. There is a chat box in there. Okay? There is a chat box there. Hello, Marion. No, not back down there yet. I'm a lot better, Marion. A lot better. And thank you for your kind texts and what have you going on there. All right, my love. It is my turn next Sunday. I'm a bit behind with the hymns now, unfortunately, so I haven't sent those out yet for next Sunday, but that will be done on Tuesday, hopefully, all things being well. I hope Father Dan is all right. It's the 4th of January, of course, next Sunday, which is still in that Christmas period, so I hope he's going to be all right. On my list of carol selection, which I get from the Diocese of Southwark, it's all carols still on there, so I'm going to do the First Noel's one of them. I can't remember what else I've got in there to do, but I think he'll be all right with Christmas carols on the 4th of January. I hope he will be anyway. So that's where I am tomorrow morning there, okay? Or you can just open up your phone. You don't have to watch the show. Just listen. Type in reachonair.com and you'll be able to listen on there as well. Okay, and as I say, another one of these for you next week. Now, for our karaoke night, I do live stream karaoke. This is not on this channel. If you look on YouTube, okay, type into the search bar Karaoke London. That's my channel as well there, and we will be streaming the whole of the New Year's Eve karaoke night. Now, there might be a problem when we go into music, okay, and that is a copyright issue. So it might get to sort of 10 to 12 before Big Ben, and we might get cut off once I start playing music. That is a possibility, all right? But generally the karaoke is fine, so you'll be able to watch all our wonderful karaoke singers doing their thing at the karaoke there. All right, Gary Ross is there. Hello, Gary. Welcome along to the show. I didn't know you were there, Gary. He's just texted in Gary Ross, who's in Northern Ireland. So if you want to watch the karaoke, if you're a little bit lost, maybe you're on your own, sitting there at your home, just be warned, I do swear a bit on the karaoke because it's live on a stage, and it's never malicious, it's just part of the atmosphere going on there. Just type in Karaoke London, you can find it now if you want to, and hit a subscribe, and that will start on New Year's Eve around about 8:30. Okay, thanks for joining us, a pleasure to talk to you again, and Happy New Year if I don't see you before next Sunday. Cheerio now.